Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Your Football Show, and time for another instalment of the midweek picks. Fast becoming my favourite show of the week with Leeds United content creation legends, Mr. James Toon, Mr. JTLive, and of course, Mr. LUFC Lewis. Before I introduce them and welcome them, please do smash a like on the video, as is always the case. Yeah, the more likes, the more better. Although we had a good conversation off air last week that tells me that don't mean jack this week. So if you don't want to like it, don't like it. I'm only joking. Please do like the video.
It looks good. It looks good.
Yes,
The engagement.
It looks good. Yeah, Lewis, we'll start with you then, Matt, as well. How are you doing, buddy? All right?
I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, I'm all right. Just had a bath, so I'm feeling fresh. Do you bath? Let's not.
Right,
there was a very interesting conversation before.
We've had an off-air conversation.
Certain proclivities that Lewis likes to do,
which will remain off-air. Unless you want to be called Jizzy for the rest of the stream.
That's where I draw the line.
But yeah, you were late this week, Joe. That's a first.
I know, right?
I was the only one on time.
I joined and no one was in here. I was like,
I was in it, you cheeky bugger.
Well, I can't see you, obviously. Yeah, exactly. So, but Joe wasn't vibing. So don't like the video because he should be on. He should be the one on time.
Definitely should. I definitely should, mate.
I'm good.
Oh my days! Actually, I just realised you popped in the last week, didn't you? You're 9.4k now. Jeez.
Yes, man. I know.
Business, man.
I know. Thank you very much.
10k is round the corner.
10k is round the corner. It seemed like very far away. Then all of a sudden, I've just had a big, massive influx in March due to, of course, Leeds United. Yeah, due to Jesse Marsh. Yeah, you could say that. You've had.
We'll have a celebratory bath when you get it.
Huh?
Have a celebratory bath when you get 10k.
Just as long as Lewis isn't round, then I'm all right.
Move on.
I will do. JT, how you doing?
Ironically, that's what she was saying.
We can't do this. Move on.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling sharp as a steak knife. Steak knife right now. I can't even speak, but yeah, I'm feeling energized. I'm buzzing to go. Really, like you say, one of the favorite times of the week. Happy to be here.
Yeah, same. So let's start. Obviously, should we? No, let's do it. We weren't going to do it, but let's do it. Obviously, since we last spoke, we've had the Villa result, and of course, Sunday's absolute pandemonium. But yeah, let's start with Villa Thursday. You know, we did a bit of a preview for that this time last week. I guess none of us quite imagined what would develop on that Thursday night, because it was bad, wasn't it? It was so bad.
Yeah. Biggest thing for me was going there after watching the Leicester performance. I'm like, because obviously we came on here last week and I'm saying, there's no space to run and everything like that. It's like we were tight defensively. But then I was watching that game, stood there, and I'm like, they're just open on the wings. To be fair, it was the same the other day against Norwich. And although we won, I'm there thinking like, well, if this isn't against Norwich, if this is against City, for example, we're conceding 4 in first half because it was so open on the wings, and I'm like, you can't be giving them. We didn't do it against Leicester, so I don't know why, but that was the biggest thing for me. I think we started well, and then obviously that goal goes in, just no communication at the back, and then from then on it was just like a car crash on it, really waiting to happen, and it was just one thing after another. I do think it's a game we were in, and a game at the start anyway, and a game we probably could have scored and changed the game, but we deserve to lose 100%. I mean, it were awful performance. What do you say?
The Villa game. Yeah. No, I didn't think we were in that at all, to be honest.
No,
I've seen
at the start,
from an anorexic toddler.
Oh no, there was no fight. Yeah,
we turned up and just got walked over. We were basically saying, "Here you go. Here's the route way to the goal." No, I mean, ironically enough, coming off the bench, the only players really I saw a bit of fight from, Klitsch. You know, a lot of people have been hating on Klitsch recently against Villa. He was someone who I thought actually, he put up a bit of a fight. He looked like he wanted that battle in there. A lot of the other players, man, they were getting bullied in there. In a relegation battle, that's the one thing you got to be able to fight.
I just think if we'd have scored in those first sort of 10-15 minutes, it'd have been a different game. But because of what happened at the back, the miscommunication, because the crowd kind of just thought, here we go again, everything just kind of went against us. And yeah, there's no arguments from me. We deserve to lose. I was tweeting out as I do. I'm like, if we go down, if we go down performing, I know if we go down performing like that, no complaints from me.
If he's not getting banned by the opposition goalkeeper, then it's not a match week, is it?
I know. You'll have to.
We'll talk about that. But it was a disgraceful performance, and I will admit that is the first game I've left early in years. I left on 85th minute. So obviously it's only 5 minutes before, but it was just a case of getting home. And I thought we're 3-0 down. I think it was the point Firpo went down injured. I thought there's going to be like 3-4 minutes at a time. I can't be asked. And I just left. I was so low.
Yeah. Do you know what it is as well, though, Lou? This is the thing. And I was, obviously I didn't go to the game on Thursday. And I'm so glad I didn't. Like, can you imagine the drive home? All my days.
The ground were empty. The ground were half empty when I left.
Well,
that was 85th minute.
And do you think that this is the mad thing? So I've seen some people say, on social media, it was like that at Spurs. No, it wasn't. Nothing like that at all. No. I think, and I went into a bit of a like meltdown, you could say, but between Villa and Norwich, I was in a proper meltdown phase in that I was like, ready to throw bath. What is it? What's that saying? Throw baby out without bathwater or whatever the saying is. I was just done. Like I was.
Let's stop. Let's just stop with the baths analogies.
I think we've had enough. You mean
to say throw the towel in?
Throw the Lewis out with the bathwater.
Yeah. But I didn't even mean to do it that, right? But I guess what I'm saying is that, throw the towel in if you like. Like I was like, this team's done. They're rubbish. And I think a lot of it was just like the shining of Bielsa leaving. I think even, the thumpings we'd received under Bielsa, and they were that at times. It never got as bad as it felt after that Villa game. No. I even think in the crowd, and I wasn't there, but you could see it on TV, like the disdain towards the management. Marsh, I mean, poor guy, he had a bloody scarf thrown at him, you know what I mean? And he had to kick it off, and that shouldn't be happening on his first home game. But I think a lot of that was due to the fact of Bielsa and all that sort of thing. And, I've seen people get unfair stick for shouting Bielsa at the 80th minute or whatever. And people saying it's embarrassing. No, it wasn't embarrassing. That was always going to happen. And it was a way of saying to the board, you've messed up. Now, obviously, Sunday happened and we're all amazing again. But you can't, just suddenly forget about that Villa performance. And I think a lot of it was just a realization that, oh wow, Bielsa's gone, and we're going to experience this a bit,
Well, it was toxic, is what it was. I mean, look, no one missed Bielsa. No one was more upset when Bielsa got sacked than me. I tell you that for nothing. But right now, everyone just wants. They want to cry over spilt milk. You can't cry over spilt milk. Everyone's harking to the past. Using the fact that we sacked Bielsa as a stick to beat Marsh with, and then you're getting divisions within the fan base. It's like with Arsenal when they sacked Wenger. You start to get the people like, oh, we should have kept Wenger. We shouldn't have sacked him. And then you get the fans fighting within each other. No unification. There's no driving force pushing the squad forward. So when we are getting absolutely ran through, there's nothing to keep us going because those fans that should be pushing the team forward are there bickering amongst each other. It's toxicity and it drags the energy out of the players, which is why I think you saw what you saw against Villa, because the second things started to go bad, then you start to hear the moans and the groans. Unlike with Bielsa, where when we had him and it was, people, there was still an optimism of what could happen and people were still clinging on to that. And yes, there was a little bit of toxicity near the end with some fans wanting him gone, but nothing like what we saw against Villa, where everyone just wants to cry about the past. Look, You can't go back to the past. No matter whether you think it was the right change, you think it was the wrong change, the changes happen. You've got one choice now. You get behind the goddamn team. You get behind the manager. It's not his fault that he went into this situation. He's got a tough job. Give him all the tools, anything you can equip him with to get us out of it. Because that's the only chance we got.
Yeah. It's so true.
Yeah, like what you just said there is what I'm about to say, more or less. That under Bielsa, and it wasn't every single game, don't get me wrong, but most of the time, you could be 2 or 3-0 down and still have a strange feeling that it could end 3-3, 4-3, whatever. Something mental could happen because miracles happened under Bielsa, and it was just him. He provided that optimism, like you say, just him. And what I saw against Villa, it wasn't so much the 3-0 defeat, because time and time again under Bielsa, 6-2, 4-0, 6-0, we got battered.
Yeah.
Quite a few games. And I never was there like, fucking shit, like 6-0, blah, 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 blah. It was the performance. It was me watching Bamford, right? Watching Bamford stood there while Villa played short, pass, forward, backward, in the box, and to the keeper, back to the defender, and Bamford just stood there, and everyone had to go at him run to the man. And I'm not pinning it on Bamford. I'm saying that's just one core memory I have of it. Of stood there watching this isn't what's going on. Why are you not pressing? He just didn't care, and it was the same in the middle of the park. We were just watching, allowing Villa to just play us off the park, and it was there was no pressing, no desire, no effort, no fight, no heart,
no
nothing.
passion, no aggression.
Literally nothing. And it was what is going on? So it wasn't the 3-0 defeat that sunk me. It was me thinking about future games where if that's gone, what we're gonna do?
Well, he had credit in the bank, didn't he? He had credit in the bank that he'd proven it before that he could come back through adversity, through even in the Championship when we had poor forms. He'd proven that he could get the side to turn it around in the next game. So you always had that hope.
Yeah. But to see the hope gone, there was no hope in the players or the fans. It was well, if we hadn't even got that, do you know what I mean?
Well, it was the love behind the man.
Problems.
It's
I know, but
I don't. I know we're going to get onto the Norwich game, and there's just one thing I want to talk about before then. Is after we won and everyone was excited, it was amazing, and then they start showing these pictures and these videos of Jesse Marsh losing his mind on the touchline. It was good to see. It brought a smile to my face, and it was nice to see him like that. But it's not the same. It feels like there's a stranger there. It's like, say you live with your family and you get adopted and you got a stepdad and he's just there. You care for him, but when I was seeing that, I was happy because he was the manager of Leeds and because of what that meant for him, because it was his squad that did that. Whereas when I've seen us turn it around and I saw the videos of Bielsa celebrating like that, it brought tears to my eyes for him. I was there smiling for his sake because I felt so good for him personally as a man. And I'm yet to feel that about Marsh. And that's the one thing that I will say. And obviously that's only natural. He's just come in and everything Bielsa did. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not again using that as a stick to beat Marsh with, but that's probably something as to why people did lose confidence so much, because when we were going through the tough times of Bielsa, people loved him so much that they wouldn't dare to curse the team. They wouldn't dare to start getting really angry and annoyed at the players because they didn't want to abuse him because they loved him so much. And that was something kind of holding the club together, which is something that we're going to have to really take into account for the remainder of the season.
Well, I think
turn that on Marsh.
Go on, Joe.
No, I was just saying, I just something I wanted to pick up on, that you'd mentioned, Lewis, about I guess opposing fans could never understand us when we were sort of accepting of these 6-2 batterings, of these, I was even, and I know this sounds a madness, but I was even accepting of the Man City 7-0, man. If you look at my post-match, I'm like, whereas and this is where it comes down to performance bases as well, because if we'd have been spanked 6-2 by Villa under Marsh in that type of performance that we put in on Thursday night, I'd have been calling for his head straight off the block. But the difference was, was with Bielsa, there genuinely was a case of the lads were trying, and a lot of the time it was just like we weren't clinical enough or whatever. But I think the overriding thing from Thursday was some of these players, especially when you were hearing certain players had certain stuff to say about Bielsa or weren't happy with his methods, and then they're on social media. And I'll say him, Rodrigo, because he had such a turnaround. I wanted him dropped. I was saying the same. I was saying the same about Rafinha. I was going, this guy's come back from Brazil duty. You don't want to know. I said, you can't drop your best players, but if there was someone else who we could put in for him, I would advocate it. This is what I'm saying about I'd lost my head totally because, for me, Bielsa had gone, who I have a deep affection for, and then that shower of shite was put in, and I was like, nah, I'm not accepting this. And it will be quite a change for us as content creators as well, because we have been lucky in that, we've had Bielsa. Now it is going to change. It is going to change, and you will find that,
I just think I think it's a case of, again, like you say, non-Leeds fans won't really get it, but Bielsa had that track record of 1 week we could get battered 6-2. And the next week we win 5-2 or vice versa or whatever. And when you're losing 7-0 to City, there's the hope you'll win 4-0 next week. So because of that track record, because it were really like West Brom in the Championship, for example, we're on a downward trajectory, and then we smash West Brom 4-0. So it was every season. There was no real down point. Like, the hope was never gone. There was always that feeling of, we could get battered 6-0 this week, and next week
we'd go through like a 2-game losing, 2-game winning, 2-game losing.
So it was like that. So obviously, when you're getting these results, 7-0 at City, 6-0 at Liverpool, there was no massive uproar because of that. But obviously, from the board's point of view, them results can't stand, and they'll probably look. Bielsa will leave at the end of the season anyway. And they probably just wanted to make that decision. So that's what happened. But, just 3 points on what you said, James. Bielsa, when he first came in, I think because we never had, or for a very long time, I never had
in our lifetimes.
Well, I was gonna go back to Simon Grayson, but even that's, you know what I mean?
Not the same.
Yeah, like, so a manager that the fans really connect with and love. So you probably have to go back to Grayson. I know that we kind of liked Brian McDermott, but these are the names that you're comparing to Bielsa.
It was what he did to the City as well, with getting the players to clean up the litter and everything.
Yeah, so when Bielsa come in, it was very, very quick to cling on to him because we never had that. And seeing him point number 2, seeing him celebrate, it was rare. So whenever it happened, you felt that because it must have meant a lot to him for him to react like that, because he wasn't a go mental every goal type of guy. He was very down to earth.
But even when you just saw him do this, it tickled my heart.
And I forgot what point 3 was. It don't really matter. But you get what I mean. I just think with Marsh, it's gonna take a while, purely based on because we. Oh no, that was point 3. We have now had that man for him to fill the shoes of, whereas before, everyone who came after the man before was just the same. Yeah, it was just shit after shit after shit after and now it's Marsh coming after God, essentially. Yeah. It's like,
no, so I don't think. I think he will never live to that legacy, but he has to make his own legacy. I don't say that as in it's a bad thing for him.
For example. Like he has to do something. He has to do something significant history-wise. Has to. But also, you can argue that championships are mediocre achievement. Like anyone else, anyone else like?
I don't care. I'll do another end of season every week to him.
I'll do it for the rest of my life. I'll have a
Exactly.
shrine. No, but anyone
So
else
many people
looking
get
in
vexed
would
by
be
it,
like,
you know.
like any Scum fans or whatever would be like, oh, Championship's mediocre achievement. But in our history, to get us back where we belong after 16 years, that was so significant, and that will never be taken away. So for Marsh to get that, what I'm trying to say is like connection and the legacy, and he has to do something significant, not just like the odd good result or keeping us up. Even keeping us up, I don't think will cement.
No one, mate. No one will even ever come close to him, bro. No one will ever come.
No,
close
it's a different thing. Like, even if you won the league, like, I think the thing with Bielsa, it wasn't just like his achievements. It was him as a person. You'll struggle to find a nicer,
for the fans to connect.
Yeah, exactly. But you warm to his character because he's such a lovely
warm to his character. Marsh's character.
Oh no, same. I love Marsh. Don't get me wrong. I love Marsh. People will misconstrue this and think we're slagging him off.
No, of course
no. I think whoever, just to round it off, whoever was going to come in anyway, mate, was always on a high and nothing. No one's ever going to compare to him. People forget, and I say this a lot. Like, you know, he was only here for 4.5 years, maybe. And he's had such a profound effect. So it's pointless even trying to find a happy medium, because no one will ever compare to that.
I mean, it shows just before we move on, which we're here to talk about recent results stuff. What I'm saying, this shows, right, the fact that he's not been the Leeds manager for 3 games now, and the mention of his name, we're all here like talking about him, like we can have a full blown conversation just about Bielsa and completely go off track just at the mention of his name, because that's how much we all care, and that's what he's done to us. Like that's proof enough. But like, you know, we do have to move on, and we've obviously had the loss against Leicester, the loss against Villa, but then we come on to Norwich.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Before we do that, let me just get to some comments that I've just been starving as you guys have been talking. Charlie Wilkinson with the super chat. Yeah, he says, "Hey up, guys. Nice to finally see a win. Joffrey to the rescue. Love seeing Krul getting pelters, Lewis. Not looking forward to Friday or Wolves tactics. We will get to that in just a sec." Joe Depp was asking what JT's channel was.
That's my guy. Shout out my boy. He's one of the OGs in the scene. Love to my boy Joe. Big up yourself, my man.
I don't know who you are, mate. What are you on about?
He's mugging it up, mate.
I will say, like, the link to both the lads' channels are in the description, all right? So make sure you check that out as well. We've got Ryan, Barnsley fan. He says, Yorkshire, come on, Barnsley, come on, Leeds. The reason I've kept that right, Ryan, is because it's love, mate. It's all love. But I remember, I have a bit of an eidetic memory when it comes to people giving me stick. And I vaguely remember you saying you're getting relegated and you're going to be playing Barnsley, and now you've soon changed your tune, brother. All right. So I'm just
with new information, we reassess and we reevaluate.
Nah, but it's all
incoming. Wait till the end of the season. Comment.
Yes, true. That's fair. And Matty Ducker, what a beautiful looking man he is. You know, if you don't know him, check him out on Instagram. The guy's a model,
jacked
man,
and stacked, man. Look at that.
He says, "Hope you're well, my lad. Still high on life from Sunday, and keep watching that goal on repeat." And there has been, so many goals, not so many goals, but so many different. I don't know, different. What's the word I'm looking for? Just different examples of that goal due to music and all that sort of stuff.
Different. What do you mean of the goal?
So, I've put about 60 songs over this goal. Twitter's just
have you not seen it?
So
oh yeah, I've watched that goal more times than I've seen myself in the mirror, which is saying
which is a lot. There's a mirror right in front of JC now. Like.
Yeah, it's technically true.
But Lewis, Talk to me, mate, because you've how many times have you redone this video with different tunes?
Well, I did the Titanic one, which is standard. So someone
Yeah,
just like
standard,
because
yeah.
I were editing the vlog, and I saw just a tweet. Someone said, "Oh, can you put Titanic music over it?" I thought, "Oh, I've got 5 minutes," so I did it.
An MLG Titanic as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
You do.
yeah.
Yeah.
That got 2K likes. So I was like, well, I'll put another song over it, and then I just put taking song requests, and people were like, all right, well, here's your 200 odd tweets. Right, nice one, thanks.
Moving
And
like
then-
KSI with his remixes, man.
Yeah, and then it went from like good, serious, fitting songs to The Greatest Show and High School Musical and
The
X
what?
Factor. High School Musical, The Greatest Show, Showman, whatever it's called.
Don't act like you haven't
X
seen it. Why are you
Factor.
pretending?
No, I've seen High School. I don't know what the hell Greatest
No,
Show.
I'm not even that. I'm on about Lewis. Oh, The Greatest
Oh.
Show, whatever it's called. Like,
Oh,
listen,
of course, it's a good film.
The Greatest Showman is an elite movie. It's
What
an
is it?
I didn't
elite
know if it was
movie.
Show or Showman. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
I've seen it's a good film.
I didn't know there was a movie about you, Joe.
Nice, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm
quite
here
a
all
few
day,
songs.
baby.
I've gone over it. Yeah. So Twitter, Twitter. I literally said yesterday, Twitter can be a cesspit at times, but it's good to see that not
At
everyone
times.
At times, yeah.
not everyone takes everything seriously. It's just been a good laugh, yeah. So
It's
still
been fun,
ongoing.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
your Twitter game
But
is strong.
I will say, I know that obviously we've got to talk about Norwich in like detail, but I will just say right now that I have not felt so much connection to a goal since Dallas against City, and then before that probably Pablo against Swansea. I don't know why. I can't really describe why, but I just can't stop watching it, and like every time I watch it, I just feel so much happiness.
Do you know why? Because it's the goal that keeps us up. It's that important.
Well, yeah, there's sometimes there's
If
things
that's
that are greater than
goal,
football, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
if that's
like
a nothing
Vincent-
goal, why are you bothered? Everyone really knows.
But it's the like you're saying with the Pablo thing. It's one of those things that it's like I said. Sometimes things are greater than football. You know, the message is written. Vincent Kompany against Leicester, Alisson last year where he scored that last minute header, and then Liverpool went on and got top 4. Pablo Hernandez, like we still had games to win after that Hernandez goal, but everyone looks back at that goal and they're like, "Oh, Leeds were promoted after that."
Yeah,
we still had to scram that 1-0 against. Was it Barnsley? We had to beat 1-0 after that very close game there.
Yeah,
but I think this could be if and when we do stay up.
Yeah,
that will be the point, and that's why.
That's the moment. That's the moment.
I just think it's the way it happened. Like the fact that
that's what I'm saying, though. That it's the moment. It's the moment from probably Lewis in the ground because I wasn't there and I'm fuming. Like one of the games that I couldn't, and that happens. But like, it's from being in the ground or wherever you're watching it from. If you're behind the screen like me and JT, or if you're at home, wherever, it was the moment of shit. We're going down to we're staying up in the space of 2 minutes. You know,
and again, it was good to see that fight back. That's one of the biggest things that pleased me. But I think it was just a case of everything that went on all game with Krull. The fact that they got a penalty and then he were giving shit to Leeds fans, and then it got taken off him, and then he got absolutely mugged off in the last minute, and we put it in an open net to win it. Obviously, they equalised. The fact it was the 94th minute straight after we'd conceded. And the fact it was Joffrey as well. Written.
It's written.
Literally came on the pitch 2 minutes.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I didn't realize, we've been getting our ass whooped left, right, and center, man. It's been like Brazzers, like every single week we turn up and we get dealt with live on pay-per-view. But I didn't realize how down it was actually getting me. Like it was like it was like this cloud of fog just covering everything, just losing and losing. But I didn't realize how bad it was until we get that win. And then all of a sudden, my day, I'm so happy. I've got all this extra energy. And you don't actually realize how bad it gets until you get something magical and good like that. And when you have so much badness, so many bad defeats before it, makes the moment ever so sweeter. It's like you can't have happiness without sadness. You can't have ecstasy without despair. And we had the despair, and it quickly turned into ecstasy. It is one of the most magisterial scenes you will ever see. You can watch the replay, the highlight now. The emotions seep out of the screen,
it felt
injected
like
into your veins.
It's true.
Obviously, Blackburn at home was better in terms of the entertainment value and watching it. The fact that we conceded and then went on to score 2 in like what?
Yeah,
2,
in 2 minutes.
minutes.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I found the Villa one more. I know that the fact of how he turned it around in the Blackburn one was more crazy, but I think the roller coaster of the emotions in that Villa game where Roof scored that, I don't know, that one for me, it was within 4 days as well. That was the crazy thing.
Yeah,
that Villa game were really weird though, because even when we went 2-0 down, you felt that we were going to win it because we shouldn't have even been to. It was literally 2 smash and grab goals. The game was even if not we were on top, and it was like you just always felt something were in the air. But obviously the way it happened, 95th minute, come down to Roof. But yeah, I just think this felt better than Blackburn. It
felt better than them all, bro.
There was just so much relief.
Because, Lewis, without people saying it, it's the importance of the goal. Do you know what gets me is them that goal.
Every single game from here on, and then we're down. So, like, if someone says to me, "Oh, that's the goal that keeps us up," it feels like that now. But in reality, it's not. But that's what it is. It felt like we.
I'm telling you,
it felt like last day at season. That was the goal
That's the goal, man.
To put us from 18th to 17th. That's what it felt like, but
you know me. I think it's the goal, man. Because put yourself in this shoes, right? What? And this might sound a bit mad, huh?
Where? Do you want to get
whose shoes am I putting my feet in here, man? My feet are getting wet down here. What's going on?
But listen, right. So, would you rather think of this from a mentality aspect?
The mindset.
Yeah? Would you rather, as a player, right, knowing all the shit that we've been through, go out and win that game routinely 2-0, or have what happened on Sunday? Telling you, like, even in that interview afterwards when it's Dallas and Joffy, they speak about Wolves, and Joffy says, well, we'll get something there. And the guy goes, oh, do you think that? He went, yeah, we've just been speaking about it in there. I genuinely feel we'll get something, right? And I know he's a young kid, so maybe it's like, whoa, what you're saying kind of thing. But what that result and the manner in which it was won will have done for them confidence-wise is much better than them going out and beating Norwich 2-0 routinely.
Yeah. If we'd have won that game 1-0 and the goal comes in, we're at the 13th minute?
Yeah.
We'd have all left like, right, job done. Okay, but Wolves next. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean?
You know me. I like those clean sheets, baby. I do like those clean sheets. But you know what? For the sake of the drama, I will lie on some crumbs. Because that's the way. Nothing makes it crazier. And that's Leeds all over, isn't it? Even all the players saying, when do we ever make it easy? You know, when are we ever?
You agree with what I'm saying, though, JT, in that the manner in which they won will actually do more for them than that routine.
Yeah, because of the fight, because of the way it's the belief. It's it's not just the fight physically on the pitch; it's the fight mentally, and to mentally be pegged back to the point of what seems like doomed relegation. To fight, to claw back. And like you were saying, with the hope with Bielsa of even when you were 3-0 down, you felt like you could make it 3-3. Now we've seen that under Marsh, even when we're down in the dumps, we can come back. You know, it's those same players there, those same players that were fighting and dying for us back then. Although Bielsa isn't there anymore, those players are still there. Yeah, and when we get people like Calvin Phillips and Bamford back and Klitsch, and I know you guys have a bit of a question mark around them now with your likes of Dallas and your likes of Luke Ayling, but these are the people that died, put their blood, sweat, and tears into it before and fought back time and time again to get us up in the first place. So if there's anyone that I trust to keep us in there, it's those guys there that have done it before. Even Liam Cooper.
Yeah,
Liam
true.
Cooper.
I did. Do you know what? Just on that, I did, and I feel I've done a disservice to them because Luke Ayling has been Marsh's best player since he's come in the door in the 3 games, 2 at centre back, 1 at right back. And arguably over them 3 fixtures, he's been the best player for Marsh, full stop. So I can't really say anything on that. And on Stuart Dallas as well, like I seen the other day from LUFC data, about him on Friday will make his 262nd appearance, which is level with Lucas Radaby, and he started all 67 of our Premier League games since promotion and started 116 out of the last 117 league matches. So I'm like, how dare I? How dare I? And that's the fact. That's the fact. Like, what a guy. Like, for him to be on the same as Lucas Radaby, that's insane. So any disservice I've done to both of them, I unequivocally now sit here in front of you and say I'm sorry because I shouldn't have.
I don't think there's a disservice. I think
no, I was. I
think Ayling was poor against Leicester. Well,
he was the best player though for us. I think. Sorry, no, against
no,
Leicester,
for the goal.
Oh, okay.
Like, but I mean, not all game. We were solid defensively against Leicester. And then before that, like instances like Scum at home, for example. Where is he? But I don't think there's a disservice picking out mistakes. I think maybe a disservice, like essentially writing them off. But at the same time, there is going to come that point where we're like, if we really, really, really want to be challenging for Europe,
I agree.
We need better players than them,
and
that isn't us calling them shit because they're not. It's us saying, right, we need a better squad in general. Like we need a full squad of Rafinha level players.
You need a couple. You need a couple of different. You can't have everyone that's a well beaten.
Players like Dallas,
James Milner.
Dallas.
But Dallas and James Milner. What's the difference between them, really? You're looking at them now. Look at what the role Milner played for Liverpool to win the Champions League. Dallas has that role to play for Leeds.
Yep. So, but in general, like when you're talking about players like Click and Ayling and basically most of the championship squad or our promotion squad, there is going to come that time where we need to admit that we do need that level up to be a level up. Like you want to be challenging for Europe and you want to be competing in Europe. You ain't doing it with Luke Ayling, Matthias Click.
I think don't do it.
I think that's harsh on Klitsch.
Yeah, be careful for Click because he's
our most creative player.
Yeah, he's better suited to this Marsh system than any of our midfielders.
Yeah, but age-wise.
I think with a lot of them, I 100% see your point. But Klitsch, I think Klitsch people really underrate his levels.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
On an ability level, though, that's on an age level. He's 34.
Age level.
Be in Europe for. You'd think maybe
for a whole
years.
12 months, yeah.
So it's gonna get to that point where like, well, he's past it now. Do you know what I mean? Unfortunately, there's nothing on his ability. You know, I'm sure it would be good, but yeah, it is gonna get to that point. Unfortunately, and we're gonna have to wave off the promotion squad and lose this. The sentimentalism, Joe. The sentimentalism.
Yes, that's it. Nice
word. I don't know if it's a word, but
let's just talk about Norwich in some more detail. So obviously, Patrick Bamford starts first half. I just think I'm gonna reel off some things, and then you can jump on the back of. Bamford starts is huge for me because what he offered us in that first half, in terms of just occupying centre backs, let alone actually even touching the ball, just being in the central area, occupying centre backs was such a huge plus. And I think Bamford on another day probably finishes his chance as well. The opportunity that he had. I'm thinking, does he dink it? Does he use his right? He doesn't do either. But just having him there as a focal point was huge. I thought Rodrigo, who before the game I said didn't deserve a start, and I think I was right in saying that, because someone earlier said about Rodrigo being the best under Marsh. This one performance, 45 minutes or whatever it is at that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, because against Villa, he was worst player on park for me. But he was great. I will say that. Luke Ayling being back at right back, I think we've seen some more of what Luke I was used to last season, bombing down that right hand side. I mean, Melier saving with his face. I mean, that's proper gone under radar, really. And like I said, just the Joffrey goal, just everything really. And yeah, JT, thoughts, mate, on Bamford? Just anything that I've missed. Anything that I've missed, really.
Well, Bamford, I mean, I know they touched on it at Match of the Day about the way that he builds people into the game, and the fact that he slows it down and he allows people to come with him, whereas before it was a bit more gung-ho with just people running off by themselves and opening up the space. But how many times do I gotta say it, man? That guy's movement is elite. His the way he opens up space for others, the runs he makes. I mean, people look at him and they think he's a bit of a plank, he's a bit clunky, but he is saucy. I mean, with his feet, even the way he turns his balance, and he's deceptively quick. I mean, they were showing the top speeds running last year. He was faster. He had a higher top speed than Dan James last year in the Premier League. And everyone's saying Dan James some speedster and Patrick Bamford can't run for anything. Well, he can. And his movement, the way he was opening up space for others, it was enabling Klitsch to come through, enabling Dallas. I mean, Rafinha was getting so much joy out on that side because of the link-up play with Bamford. And like you say, he was offering a focal point. He was offering someone to receive the ball to. And that cross, I mean, when Rafinha, when he hit the bar there, that play by Bamford, pings across to him. First touch with the left.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Silkier than a spider's jizz. And then it gets to the floor and it's a beautiful ball, inch perfect, straight into the danger area.
Where's that come from? Where's that come from?
Well, I don't know. Where does it come from then? If it's not that, where does it come out of the spider? I don't know. Does it come out of the arse?
Yeah, but the touch was it tickled my pickle. Put it that way.
Oh,
the 1-2 was unreal, wasn't it? It was basically 1-2.
Like, the shot was when he had the chance. I just turned around and I know that it's been a while since I've been able to stand here and go, Bamford should have scored that. And everyone just smiled, because it's like it's literally all you ever used to hear. Bamford should have scored that. And it was, I just found it funny, but yeah. When we go 1-0 up, Bamford's positioning, like his movement, played such a big part in that. And
orgasmic.
when you're watching goals, you do just see, obviously it gets taken down. Rodrigo comes in and just belts it in the corner. And on highlights, that's all you see: the goal, blah blah blah, move on. But when you actually watch the full move back, you're like, right, so Bamford's there. Them two players are focused on him. He's so smart. He's so smart. And it's just like, there were a gaping hole there, obviously.
That private education for you, man.
there were a little bit of a miscommunication in the goal between, I think it was James won it, who took it down, and Rodrigo. But Bamford's position, his movement, his awareness, and like what he does for the team in general, we've missed that massively. If he can do that consistently, then the goals will come as well. Yeah, he is a striker. Yes, he should be scoring. Fine, but he offers so much more than that. And in terms of his pace, first time I saw like how fast he could run, or his burst, it was against Fulham. We bet them 4-3. His assist to Costa for like the third goal, and it somehow came from behind whoever was on him to way ahead of him, and I just saw that burst of pace. Saw it against Wolves away when, funnily enough, when he got his goal disallowed. So for anyone saying that he's a donkey and can't run and stuff, that's he gets back. Even him getting back, like, just offers so much everywhere.
The charisma he adds to the attack as well. The flair in his play, it's saucy, man. It's like peri hot spice. You know, we were walking around on a mild spice. Just the way he turns with the ball is so elegant. It's so
nice.
classy, and he shimmies through. And for such a tall guy as well, the agility and the man,
it's almost like he's become that striker that we've rarely had, where like a Harry Kane type, for example, where even though your game plan is to not let him in the game, to mark him, to not let balls go over the top to him, whatever it may be, the sheer presence of Harry Kane puts defenders on edge. And I think with Bamford's record in his first Premier League season, some of the goals he has scored, some of the flair he's shown, even to the most elite defenders, his sheer presence has become a threat. And in the mindset of defenders, it does put them on edge. It can cause a bit of worry. And I think they would go about defending or trying to defend him differently than would have done coming up against him in a cup game when we were in the Championship, for example, because he wasn't that name, he wasn't that threat, and you know, they just defend him as they defend any other striker. But because he's become that, I think ability aside and record aside, that's become very important for us to have that guy there who's putting defenders on edge. And I think we missed that as well. He just offers so much. I just love Patrick Bamford, man. I love him.
He's good. He's good. He's good. Just having him there is huge.
The game.
Yeah, man. Say that again, bro.
Huh? Bamford's the name, goal scoring's the game, destruction's the game, and of course, I mean, the guy's got more game than EA Sports. Let's be real here. I know he's been lacking game time this season, but when he is on the pitch, there really is nothing like it.
Yeah,
why have you pulled that up, right?
Just as you were talking,
stitch me up there. Stitch me up.
It's class though. It's class. Any more on that Norwich one? Let's talk. I tell you what. Let's plug a little bit of our own stuff here. Yeah, man. JT, the reaction to the goal. If anyone's not seen it, please do go check out. Just like my reaction, and Lewis has put them all together on a compilation. I'm gonna have to start charging him for that, I think.
Royalty fees.
Hey,
royalty pieces.
I've single-handedly got you to 9.4K. You were on 8. Before that video came out, you were on 8.7. Prove otherwise. Nah, but like, it's so good. It's so good to like, because obviously, for anyone who somehow misunderstands it, Joe and James aren't actually watching the game together, obviously, but you know, it might look like that. But it's
good to mesh them together, and
it's
like
so interesting for me
to
like sync them up. And for example, if you both say Rafinha at the same time, like the exact same time, I don't know why things like that just like please me, but it's like when you're watching the exact same, more or less the exact same reaction to like the eye movements, you both like sort of edge out your chair, the exact same, and then obviously you both literally.
Well, you could just when it started with the clip as well, you could just see like in Joe's face the despair and the like energy.
Even you were like,
that header goes on.
Yeah, before that, I think you were like, you shouted like Llorente, you donkey, or something like that, and it didn't make it in because you didn't sync up well. But like you went from Llorente, you donkey, and then you went Rafinha. And he was like that in your chair. And Joe obviously never heard his voice go so high in my life.
I think I think the one thing I was unhappy with was that when I watched it back, I was like, "What was you doing that for?"
You're like a little.
No, I know it's because when you're sat down, like when it's like that, like even I was like jumping. It's like I want to be standing up in the crowd, like jumping forward, but I'm sat down. I mean, if I stand up, I'm off camera. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there was a moment, right, where I went Joffy to then, to like pure anger.
It was pure. It wasn't
you
anger.
Suddenly got angry.
It was just like it was relief, and it was almost like we're saying, "Fucking come on, then."
Yeah, exactly.
Team Cruel.
Mate, I just wanted to hug someone, man. I wanted to hug someone when that went in.
I've never, ever, I don't think ever lost my head so much at a player from memory than I did do at Tim Krul. I don't even know why. It was just.
Well, you must have a very, very short memory, mate. Very short memory.
What's gone off with Tim
lose my
Krul?
head at?
Oh, I mean, Ramsdale comes to mind.
I didn't. Not even as much at Ramsdale. I found that funny. And do you know the only reason I found it funny is because Ramsdale's known for it now. Like,
well, he's a shithouse, isn't he?
Yeah, he did, and he did it to.
There's only certain much you can do about it when someone buys into it like that and they're soaking it up. You can't really win.
No, but there's a difference between him. The thing with Ramsdale, well, we were giving him shit all game, and then he gave us it back when they got the result. So that I just stood there like, fair play, like you've done us, you shit houses, because he did it to Leicester a couple of weeks before. But with this, we'd never even said a word to Krul.
What actually happened, Lou?
Yeah, but Krul's always beefing us, isn't he? He's always had that beef with Bamford from back in the Championship. No?
We were 1-0 up, obviously, and no, the only thing what the cop does every time when he come over second half, we always clap. Everyone claps to see if they'll clap back, and he's clapping like out of respect, like look, and then we all just obviously everyone just goes, God, like as soon as they clap back. And then he's just like, I've just been done there. But other than that, there were nothing all half, I swear to God. And then they got the penalty. And he turned round to a fan. And from what I can make out and from what a fan said who were near it, he actually says, don't know what you're crying for. It's not going to be a penalty. Now, if this goes the way of it ends up being a penalty, he's then said it's not a penalty and he's just going to rub it in even more. The flip side of that is, after that, because everyone's giving him shit, he just stood there laughing at people, and he's like, ooh, pretending to be scared, which is banter, it's funny, fair enough. But then, and I know it's only Lucasade, and it's a laugh, whatever, but he squirts whoever he's talking to with Lucasade, right? And all I'm thinking is, yes, it's Lucasade, big deal, get over it. But if that's done, vice versa, and a fan squirts something at the keeper or throws something at the keeper or whatever, that fan's getting punished or banned or whatever. And everyone around me saying the same thing. I'm like, right, there's a barrier there. The players do nothing to the fans and the fans do nothing to the players. If there's going to be one rule for one, it's going to be one rule for the other. So he does that and walks off. And I think up until that point, up until he squirted him, he were having a laugh. But then I think something got said and he's not lost his head as such, but squirted whoever. And you can see in his face when he walks off, he's thinking, wankers. And then ref goes over to VAR thing, and everyone's then giving Krul more shit. And he come over to the other side at goal, and there's more fans giving, and he looks up and he shakes his head as if to say, like, out of order, like. And then he runs over to ref. All game, he was getting involved in everything. Running out of his box constantly, and it was getting on my nerves. It was getting on people's nerves. So maybe
but it ended up working for us because he got skinned when he ran out of his
box. Well,
box.
there you go. So he runs over to the ref when he's checking VAR, and obviously they get the penalty overturned. Comes nowhere near us, nowhere near. Like he's out of the box, on edge at box. Doesn't even turn around. He's got his back turned, and we actually, funnily enough, if you watch the game back, we actually get on the attack straight away, and he's nowhere near his goal line. And like, if there'd have been a dink up, if there'd have been a long shot, who knows? Because he were way out of his goal, and we were all laughing. And from then on, I think his head just went a bit, because every single opportunity there was to go away or run out and get involved in a referee decision or whatever he did, and it were getting more and more on our wicks. Do you know what? I'm going to explain. Yeah, you can go to the toilet, James. Like, you can go. You don't need permission.
I missed that.
You don't need permission to go to the toilet, mate. It's not school. Just up and leave.
You bastard, mate.
But yeah, like, so they obviously equalise, and he turns round as Krul briefly, but then turns back around and runs to halfway line. So then when we've done that to him at 94th minute, when Raf skins him and we put in open net, mate, the amount of shit my camera went off in the limbs, and I started recording again like 40 seconds later or whatever. You'll see like there's that little cut in between. That's when, and the amount of shit he got, and then when camera comes back, you'll see he's as far away as possible. So anyway, game ends, buzzing. Results come up on screen. Found out I've won 170 quid. The Leeds have just won. Krul's lost his head. I've won 170 quid. I'm going home happy as Larry. I then put that on Twitter. I put, never lost my head so much at a player than I did today at Krul. Didn't at him, didn't tag him, didn't know. And someone then added him in a reply, like 2 minutes later, saying, "Are you wank or whatever?" And I'd go on his, click that app to go on his profile. You've been blocked. It's like,
bit of a bad one, there. I wonder if you thought you were the guy that he squirted the water out or something.
No, because I think he'll have seen that tweet. But all I'm thinking is, if your priority is to get in that changing room after you've just conceded in the 94th minute and search your own name and block a 21-year-old kid or whatever you want to call me, then that's just sad. Like, really
I don't think he was
sad.
searching his
Reach,
name.
yeah?
His name was probably coming into his mentions, was it not?
Well, yes, someone did at him, but I didn't. So but even so, it was literally 20 minutes after full time. And within
that's that vlog of Lewis, man.
Within 5 minutes
he's got Leeds Twitter on lock. I need to block him.
within the 5
Mate, he was probably
minutes,
scared. He saw just sat there with his Stony on. He's like, shit, man.
Hey, I don't wear Stony. I'm not part of the flock. I do know.
I have seen some of the best. Have you seen them tweets, man? Who keeps doing them and say, "Have you seen the new Apple update?" And it's just a guy with a Stone Island. Have you not seen it? Some of them are brilliant, man. And he's like, "Oh, I like this new thingy or whatever," and you can't even see it, and all you can see is the Stone Island.
Yeah, I was just, mate.
Well, of course, I'm in a club the other day actually, and there's literally one Don there with a Stone Island badge on his thing. Guess who he supports?
Millwall.
There you go. Exactly. Bro, Millwall, Stone Island.
It was just dub after dub after dub. It was like, right, we've won. Dub. 170 quid bet. Dub. Krul's, I'm in Krul's head. Nice one. Dub. Videos bang on YouTube. Dub. It's like,
monetization. Dub.
Mate, but like, the most important thing is we've actually got 3 points, lads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, over everything, that's what I'm just the relief. Just like, yes, we've got points. Because everyone's in your ear, like, every week. I was like, where's the points coming from? I don't even think we're going to beat Norwich. Norwich are going to beat us. Italian, blah, 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 blah. I was like, mate, right. We've beaten Norwich. We've got Southampton and Brighton at home. We've got Watford and Brentford away. We've got these fixtures. Whereas Everton are down. I'll say it right now. I'll say it every opportunity I get. Everton are down. They're down. Mate, I don't think they could actually have a worse sequence of fixtures.
3 games in hand, though.
Mate, it doesn't matter. The only 2 easy fixtures, if you want to call them easy, are Burnley and Watford. And they actually may prove to be their worst fixtures to have. Because if they don't beat Burnley and Watford,
they've got Newcastle next, don't they?
Newcastle will beat them tomorrow. I'll tell you that now. Newcastle will beat Everton tomorrow, right? They've got Burnley and Watford at some point. They need to be rearranged. But other than that, right? Other than that, they've got... This is back-to-back, by the way. They've got Liverpool... Oh, no, this might be in the wrong order. Oh, no, West Ham, Scum, Liverpool, Leicester twice, Arsenal, Brentford.
Oh, Leicester, that's easy though. Leicester are whack, man. I'm telling you, Leicester, easy pickings, man. Leicester are not what people crack them up to be. That's they could easily get some points like that.
Everton have got 9 points, 9 points in 20 games, mate. Like, yeah, we've got 19 points in 20 games. They're the bottom out of the bottom 6. They've picked up the least points in the last 20 games, and with this run coming up. And Lampard in charge, like they've got a championship.
Exactly, there you go. They've got Lampard. That could be the difference maker, man.
They've got a championship back 4. They've got Lampard in charge. They've got a points deduction looming, which won't be this season, but it's still there. So they've got financial worries, and there's a lot of trouble behind the scenes. The fans ain't on board with everything, and then they've got all that on top of Liverpool, West Ham, Chelsea, Arsenal, all these back to back to back to back. And then the only two, if you want to call them easy fixtures, are Burnley and Watford. But
It's Everton, though. But it's Everton. They haven't been relegated since, what, like 1950?
Mate, that doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean shit. They've
Oh,
got 9 points
though.
in 20... Mate, it doesn't. They've got 9 points in 20 games. Do you know how bad that is?
Oh, yeah, it is rotten.
It's
An absolute hooner.
Mate, even if they drew...
Let's...
Mate, it's bad.
Right, so... Let's forget about Everton. They'll get... yeah. I think... No, I agree with you, Lou.
Slumps back in his chair.
Yeah, they're in trouble. They're in trouble.
Mm.
Well, obviously, we're to do our bits, and we've got Wolves on Friday.
Yeah.
Tough game. How do we see it going? I think for me personally, I think we can get something. I think a win would be huge. However, I could see a 0-0. Which would be a bit of a mad one.
I'll bite your hand off.
Yeah, same. I think the key is with Wolves, just don't let them score first. If they score first, they normally see it out. I think Arsenal,
we concede first, we usually shit the bed. That's the big problem.
Yeah. No, there's that as well, and that's
we
what I
haven't
mean.
turned the game around this season. We haven't turned the game around this season from a losing position.
I wouldn't expect it against Wolves anyway. Genuinely, I think Arsenal, when they beat them 2-1 the other week, Lacazette scored in the last minute. It was the first time in so many years that Wolves had actually lost from a winning position. We know why. We know their tactics, the spoiling tactics. If they get in front within the first 10 minutes, they start bloody doing their old, going on the deck kind of tackle. So it's key to him is score first. If they score first, then I'm already like, oh, for God's sake, write it off. But I'd take a point now, and I think it'd be huge if we could get a point.
No. We need 3. We need 3, baby. 1 point. Yes. The game's in hand, man. I mean, you're shrugging off Everton. 3 games in hand. Burnley games in hand. These teams behind us.
I'm not having it, mate.
Look, Newcastle pulling away from us. Brentford winning, getting 3 points away from us. No, we need wins, and we need them now. We've still got City and Chelsea coming up later in the season.
I've written them off. Like,
we need points now. Points in the bag are better than
of course. Like, and if we win Friday, massive. But Burnley and Everton's games in hand don't matter.
We need momentum, though. We need momentum for once.
Fine, yeah.
We need to get wins on a roll.
Right? 6 points, and we stay up. So
6 points and we absolutely
no. I think we do.
No. You're cutting it fine there. There's still 9 games to go.
We're gonna get more than 6 points, bro. But I'm saying like 6 points and we stay up. So if we lose Friday, like it's not the end of the world. I actually think realistically. And this isn't a case of me not having faith in us, we lose. Because they're going for Europe and they're in form and they're at home. It's as simple as that.
But if you were talking about all the feel-good factor that we had from that last-minute goal, if we go and put up a hooner and we lose to Wolves, that's all bang. You've just punctured through the middle of it. That whole feel-good factor is gone.
There would be no shame in losing to Wolves.
There is big shame if we lose.
5-0, fair enough.
Big shame.
Mate,
No.
What you think there's shame if we lose 1-0?
If we lose 1-0, there's big shame. And I tell you why there's big shame. Because of the performances before where we blew games against Newcastle, against Everton, and these other games, like against Leicester, these other games where we should have put performances in. If we then go against Wolves and we don't do it, look, we've beaten Norwich. Let's be real here. We've beaten Norwich, the only side who's actually conceded more goals than us, and a Norwich side that are absolutely catastrophic. We need to put some wins together against other teams. If we lose against Wolves, then we're right back to where we started.
Yeah, I'm not.
We can't get carried away with
points, bro. But you can't say that there'd be shame in us losing 1-0 to a team that's literally 2 points.
But then you put it. Okay, but then let's put it into a wider perspective. We would have got 3 points out of our last 12. And if you say that before those 4 games, then you're looking a bit shaky. Then you're like, okay, you know what? I would have wanted at least 6 points out of those 12, considering the position we're in.
Right,
You
so
have to
you're
look
saying
at the
there's
whole
shame in the points we've picked up in so many games, not shame in losing 1-0 to Wolves.
Yeah, it's not if that result by itself isolated, not necessarily, but in context to everything
that's fair
else
enough,
that's going on,
But
that
I
changes
think
things.
Everton's games in hand especially are insignificant. Mate, go and look at their fixture list. I don't care what you say. They could have 5 games in hand, and I still wouldn't be worried. They have picked up 9 points in 20 games. They have now got their toughest run of the entire season. You're telling me they're going to start to pick points up now?
They'll probably beat Newcastle, man. They'll probably beat Newcastle.
Beat Newcastle, and then they lose 4.
And then we need
to
capitalize on that and catch Newcastle. They're only 4 points ahead of us. If we win tomorrow, Newcastle lose. We're only 1 point behind them, and they could.
I would rather go catch Newcastle and Brentford than worry about Everton, Burnley, and Watford. Of course, but realistic. I actually think we will pull away from Everton, Burnley, and Watford and leave them to it. I hope that's
the only way to do that is start getting wins and start.
Of course, and if we win Friday, that's massive because because I sort of worked out roughly what I think it's going to end points wise and how many points the bottom 6 will pick up each, and I had us finishing on 32. I had Everton finishing on 29, I think it was, and that's in bottom 3. And then I had,
when did you make this?
This was before Norwich. I only gave Everton 7 points from their last 13 games. 7 points. And I genuinely think that's all
that's crazy, man.
Of course. But mate, they can't pick up points. They'll beat Newcastle and they'll lose 5 games in a row.
I hope they get 0 points out of their next
I think
12.
Newcastle will beat them. Newcastle are on upward trajectory. They ain't got a worry in the world, mate. Like they're on the way up. They're on the way away.
Yeah, but everything can change on a knife edge in football. It's about your luck. It's about your fortune. It's
even
about...
and pundits, and obviously pundits aren't always right. We know that, but even they're saying Everton are gone, man.
But pundits are flip flop. They were saying, "Oh, Leeds have no chance."
That's what I mean.
Relegation.
Of course, we know how they are, but I just think in terms of the fixtures we've all got, the bottom 6, they have got by far one of the toughest in the league, not just the bottom 6 actually, and with everything else on top of that, even the games in hand, they don't worry me. Burnley's games in hand, perhaps,
but the stats
Lampard's the goat though.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, I couldn't have put it better myself, man.
Question: if Everton were, say, more or less down, do you think Lampard stays?
Mate, they'll probably if they lose their next 3, they'll probably sack him and bring someone else in.
Right,
and
he's already started the thing of saying,
say they don't sack him. Do you think he stays?
They're losing a lot of games, and they were losing games before I got here. So he's already starting to absolve himself of any sort of criticism.
It's the Conte style, isn't it? Went in at Spurs and he's the players are all crap,
Could
man.
you imagine, because I get Everton fans' frustration, could you imagine Marsh coming into this club, right, and we lose 4 games on bounce, and he sits down in a press conference and goes, well, Marcelo's results weren't great when I came in, and it's not. Exactly. Could you imagine him saying that?
Everton fans were buzzing when he came in, so it's their own fault. It's their own fault.
But I think they're done, man, and I think obviously beating, mate. So as I was saying, so what I worked out is, I think from what I worked out, or from what I predicted, our points come from Norwich at home, which they have, Southampton at home, and Brighton at home, and then on that we're safe.
We never do it against Brighton, man.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying you could say we get 3 points from Wolves and lose to Southampton, but from what I look at it, so if we beat Wolves, I'm looking at that then right, well, that's 3 extra points from what I thought we were going to get. Because in my head, I've already written Wolves off, written Chelsea off, written City off, written Arsenal off.
I think we'll get a point against Wolves and we'll beat Southampton.
So you're saying we'll get 9 more
points? Southampton on the beach, man.
6 more points. And I think
6 more points. And that keeps us up. Okay, 6 more points puts us on 32 points. 32 points does not scream survival, if you ask me. 32 points screams you up Shit's Creek. And that paddle is snapping in half.
Based on the points I think everyone else will get, I think that'll keep us up. I think it actually
I hope you're right, man.
Worst, I think quite a few people are seeing it's going the way of down the bottom end. It's going to be low points in terms of the team that finishes 17th. I think the lowest for 3 seasons. I think saw stats something about that. That's it. On points per game. It's going that way of
key question.
Lowest point.
Are we getting relegated, Lewis?
No. What do you think that entire conversation was just
with
about?
6 points.
I'm trying to wrap it up.
No, we're not.
Otherwise, we'll still be here next week talking about bloody Duncan Ferguson and that. It turned into the Toffees.
No, we're not going down. We're not going down. Everton are.
What do you reckon, JT? Yes or no?
Big game, against Wolves to decide it. But, I feel after Sunday, we'll stay up.
Yeah, good. That's all I wanted.
It was a simple question. Ended
up
in a 15-minute debate about
Frank Lampard. Need to know Everton's fixtures.
No, I actually forgot to mention this. Let me just say that. I actually think Everton are going down.
Well, yeah, if you predicted that they're going to lose all their games, then they probably will go.
Just so long to he's like, oh yeah.
Well, actually, if we delve into their goal scoring per capita and the positions in which they create dangerous attacks of an XG of 0.
We'll be all right.
I think we realistically we lose, but I think we could get a draw. I don't see us winning, but I'd be elated if we did. And that's just if
Wolves score first, we'll lose. I believe that, and I'll say so much in the preview. But if we score first,
crazy, man.
No, I think they will, mate. They're too good when they go in front. But if we can score first, then there you go. What is JT channel? It is in the description. It's in the description.
Not too low.
So check it out. And if you want, let's let him wrap it up with some sort of...
Wrap it up with a poem. Yeah. Right. Well, you put me on the spot here, and I'll tell you who was on the spot on Sunday night. It was, of course, Joffy Gelhardt, who myself I have given a lot of criticism for. The youngster, the guy with the weight of a city on his shoulders, keeping the team up, keeping the squad that had so much to fight for, so much hope, so much passion. And as it slowly dwindled away through Bielsa's departure, the youngster came on, and boy, did he deliver.